Yo, what's going on, man? Today is October the 9th. Look like it's dark in here. Maybe I should turn the big light on. I feel like our lights ain't on. But neither here nor there, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Hit the like button for me as you join. And on today's episode, we will be doing a quick recap as we always do. I had one official play in the WNBA yesterday. Turned out to be a nice winner. And then we'll dive into look ahead to tomorrow's game, which is game 1 of the WNBA finals. And also look ahead to Thursday night football tomorrow. We got the San Francisco 49ers. They will be in Seattle laying 3.5 points. So we'll jump into all of that, go through a couple of the comments as well, and get up out of here. It should be a quick show for today. Yesterday, as I mentioned, only play was Minnesota minus the 4. A little sweaty. It wasn't too sweaty, but a little sweaty for, I guess, just for a tad bit there. They take care of business, though, handle Connecticut, shoot the ball really, really well, bounce back, actually put it together for a full game. I watched the game yesterday, and I was just thinking how unfortunate it was that they did the same thing that they did in the first half yesterday, but they came out with a win that they did in game number 4 in Connecticut and just couldn't hold on. Third quarter got a little shaky, but they won the game by margin yesterday to advance to the WNBA finals. So on the WNBA playoffs, we are 13-8 straight up, which is which puts us a little over 4 units and a quarter. So trending in the right direction. Hopefully we can cast the future that we have on the Liberty, and we'll definitely end the WNBA playoffs and the whole season profitable for sure as well. So looking to do just that. Let me go through a couple of the comments real quick, and then we'll get started today. What up to my guy Justin? Says top of the morning, Chris. Morning, Skip. GLB says morning, everyone. Cracking last night let us down. Seattle cracking, right? I think somebody said they were like minus 150. I think I remember seeing that. Glow says still sick. No, I'm actually feeling a lot better. Shout out to the Lynx. They helped me feel even better last night. But yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better. Appreciate you asking, Glows. Skip says fee over rebounds was easy money. I think I saw a stat last night that said Fee was the first player in WNBA history to have 3 consecutive games with 25 points and at least 10 rebounds. She's all world. I do think it's not that she's, gonna struggle, but I think that there's a game plan that, Sandy Brondello has to, kind of limit Fee. Or maybe they just let Fee go off and not let anybody else go off. But I'm interested I still got some diving to do in that game, but we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. CG says, morning, Chris. Dejanay over her points, saved my 2-leg parlay. Dejanay was actually the only person hooping last night for them. It was crazy to watch. I think she had double-digit rebounds. She had 17, 19 points. And she was aggressive. She was trying to get buckets last night. Shout out to Dejanay. Tori says, Bonner sold me. I almost hit 1 point away, but it's cool. We bounced back. Absolutely. Good morning, Sarah. Ball Talk says, what's up, family? Had to leave Tampa because of the hurricane that's coming. Says he's in Alabama. I didn't even know sports betting was legal here. Man, hope all is well, Ball Talk. I think it's supposed to make landfall this evening, I think, right? Is what I was reading this morning. So, yeah, I hope all is well with you and the fam down there, man. Y'all definitely stay safe. Back-to-back hurricanes is crazy, too. It's absolutely crazy. I know somebody that I'm pretty close to that has a lot of family that's in Jacksonville. So yeah, definitely sending prayers up. Hopefully everything is, hopefully this one doesn't impact as much as they're predicting it to, because it is predicting to have an impact. Dirty Rig says AT was too passive. She was pretty passive, and she went under. She stayed under her points, rebounds, and assists last night. I didn't touch it though. Timeout says, I said months ago, Sun don't have enough shooting. Hard to win when your best player is more likely to score 10 than 22. And I think I would agree with that to a certain aspect, Timeout. I just kind of feel like, y'all tell me what y'all think. I just kind of feel like the Sun had enough scoring last night. They scored enough points. In my opinion, their defense just wasn't good enough. Remember, a lot of people, like the under yesterday, which I thought it was a pretty good play as well, but you can't be giving up that many points to the Lynx. It wasn't their scoring, in my opinion. It was they just couldn't stop anybody. Courtney Williams had 20 points. Fee had 25. I think, who was it? They had one more scorer who had 20. It was no defense for Connecticut, in my opinion. That's why they lost the game. And Minnesota's offense can get really, really hot. So I think that's what it was. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. These girls are something else. Defense. What defense? Yeah, so Prolific agreed with me on that. Kristen, good morning to you. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hope all is well. Nara says, told y'all Minnesota run line in the over. Yeah, they got it done. Let's do the quick look ahead. Before we do that, I do have to double up again today. The previews for the Bucks and the Timberwolves will be done. If people are interested, definitely go back and check those videos out under the video section. Preview on every single team before we end the preseason, and giving out some bets as well. I haven't given out any full bets yet, but I'll have some bets on the 16th and the 17th as we get a little bit closer, and trying to avoid some of those injuries that have been taking place in the preseason so far. So Bucks and Timberwolves today. Also my Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets today as well. Tomorrow we'll jump into Knicks and the Clippers, and we'll continue to proceed. So definitely check these out if you guys are interested. Just kind of catching up on some of the stuff that's happened in the NBA in the offseason. So Lynx and Liberty for tomorrow. Line, I think I saw 4.5, 4. Quickly got bet up to 5.5. It's actually about 6 right now on most books. Excuse me. It's actually about 6 right now on most books. And total sitting at about 159.5. I don't think I saw a lot of movement come in on this total at all. I think it, let me just double check it real quick. 159.5 was the consensus. It looks like when it opened, and it's still about 159.5 based on what I'm seeing. As far as game 1 goes, and I got some notes here, just kind of looking at the series, not from a matchup perspective. I'm still wanting to go in and I'll rewatch a couple of these games. I remember watching most of them, but I'll rewatch a couple of them, especially the most recent ones, and just kind of see what went wrong for New York. But I told you guys a couple weeks ago when I sent out the 2-unit play on the Liberty, is that I thought Connecticut matched up really, really well with Minnesota, and for that reason, that series was going to be a pretty long series, and it was. It was actually longer than I thought it was. I think that benefits the New York Liberty, in my opinion, here, because the New York Liberty, had a chance to close their series out. So you're looking at, 4? They haven't played since Sunday when they beat the Aces. They'll play again on Thursday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you're looking at 4 days of rest versus the Lynx only having 1 day of rest. They also want to celebrate, right? Like they haven't, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a big celebration, but they're going to celebrate. Natural human instinct says that when we win something big and we advance, we're going to celebrate. So just, psychology says that they'll probably celebrate a little bit, and huge rest disadvantage here. Not that, Coach Crystal Reeves is not a good coach, but, Sandy Brondello, I think they'll be ready. I also do not think the Liberty will take this game or take this team lightly, because as you guys can see, Minnesota, they dominated this team in the regular season, 3-1 straight up, and against the spread when they faced the New York Liberty the 4 times that they played them. I vividly remember the first game. I was sitting in my entertainment area, my little theater room, and I was watching this game. It was on a Saturday because my son was going somewhere with his mom, and I remember the Liberty laying like 7.5, 8 points on the road in Minnesota, and Minnesota mollywopped them in that first game. Game number 2, Minnesota beat them again. I think that one was in New York, and it the Commissioner's Cup game. Game number 2 was the Commissioner's Cup game. Game number 3, the Liberty actually got their revenge in New York at Barclays. I'm just going off top of my memory. Got their revenge. That was the only game. Well, that was the game that went under. The Lynx couldn't score the ball anymore in the second half. I remember them running out of gas. And then game number 4 was the one that happened about 2 weeks or a week before the regular season ended. And the Lynx came in there, punched the Liberty in the mouth. I remember being on the Liberty in that spot thinking that they wouldn't, be overlooking this Lynx team. And they absolutely did. They got punched in the mouth early. That game was on a Sunday. I remember they got smoked in that game. So the totals, as you guys can see on the left side, they did split 2-2. What was interesting to me going back and looking through the box score, well, just looking at the overall scores, was Minnesota's offense. They scored 84 points or more in 3 of the 4 games. And we know the Liberty to be one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA. So then I started looking at some situational stuff, and I looked at dogs coming off a must-win game in game number 5 that do advance, and they're 0-9 straight up, 5-4 against the number per Give Me the Dog website. So it says that, you know, they're not, the Lynx are not in a really good spot in game 1. I also, you know, just kind of looked at that trend and dug a little deeper, and I looked at road dogs that are coming off a game 5 must-win. They're 3-2 against the spread, but they're losing those games by an average of 10 points in the 5 times that they've happened per Give Me the Dog. So the game 1 for me, I think, is, you know, more of a Liberty spot. I think that the Lynx, the way that they run their offense is going to be difficult for anybody to guard, just because, you know, they run so much high pick and roll action. They want to put everybody in a switch, try to get the best potential matchup for, you know, somebody like Nafisha Collier, and, you know, let her go to work mid post. We know she likes to catch it on the block. She's a 3-level scorer that can, you know, score pretty much everywhere. And if that's not available, they swing till they get a really good look, whether it's a mid-range from Courtney Williams, or it's a 3-pointer from Alana Smith, or, you know, Bridget Carlton, Caleb McBride, and they just like to knock down some shots. So I'm interested to see how the pace goes in this game. I do lean towards the over, but I got a little bit more work to do there. Now, on the opinion side, before I jump into the comments and we move on to Thursday Night Football, I wanted to talk about the New York Liberty ticket holders. So if you have a championship ticket holder, if you're a championship ticket holder for the New York Liberty, because I did send out the Liberty, it was -130 right before game 2 against the Las Vegas Aces in the last round. I said, you know, the -130 was not going to be available because I thought the Liberty were going to win game 2, and they did. They took care of business in game 2. I was checking last night. As soon as the markets opened back up for the season, the championship prices, and you guys can see, especially if you're a member and you because I didn't send this out on the channel in the actual video, something I was thinking about and I ended up sending it out to the members. It's a good time to hedge if you want to hedge. I don't know if I'm a hedge. I'm just kind of, you know, thinking about it, but it's a good time to guarantee yourself some profit here. So if you were somebody who got the Liberty, you know, I sent it out as a 2-unit play. If you got the 2 units on the New York Liberty, I think it was on DraftKings, -130, you can get a +235 on the opposite side, Minnesota to win the championship over on Caesars. That'll guarantee you, if you put 1.06 units on it, that'll guarantee you a half unit of profit no matter who wins. And, you know, you've been successful because you got a chance to make some money for the series price. So I just wanted to point that out. I do think that based on what we kind of talked about over here on the left side, some of those trends, situational spots, I do think Liberty win game 1 by margin. Have not gotten there with the 5.5 yet, but I don't think game 1 is necessarily going to be that close. I do think the Liberty take care of business. They've started the series, you know, these games out in game 1 very, very serious. They smoked the Atlanta Dream in game 1 in the first round. They smoked the Aces in game 1 of the second round, covered both of those numbers. And like I said, I just think it's the Liberty's year. I think that they have enough. They have the depth. Not that the Lynx don't have depth. This will be probably their greatest test. But I also kind of feel like beating the Aces was also pretty difficult. And I just think that they're going to protect home court. I do think that they're the right side in game number 1. Like I said, I also lean towards the over. I think adjustments will be made and defense will probably come into play a little bit more in game number 2, but I haven't gotten there with the total quite yet. The Lynx wasn't, you know, we didn't see the greatest performances from the Lynx as far as, you know, them being able to hold Connecticut down in this last series. And if they struggle guarding Connecticut, you could really struggle with this Liberty team. I mean, the Liberty team is just as good offensively, if not better, than this Minnesota team. So the opposite side of that, you know, as far as the opponent is, you know, the Liberty defense. This Liberty team also hasn't been playing, you know, the greatest defense. The Aces, you know, shot the ball really, really well in majority of those games. I was on the totals in the first 2. Both of the games ended up ticking up and over. I think it was 163.5 and a 164. Because their defense, their offense, is just they're winning with offense and not necessarily their defense until you get to game 4 in Vegas the other day, where I would blame that a little bit more on not that the Liberty didn't play good defense, but I would blame that on the Aces just missing a bunch of wide open shots as well. So those things kind of make me think that game 1 could potentially go over. Liberty in a letdown spot, a big rest disadvantage spot too. I think we see points in this game from both sides, so I do lean towards the over. Have not gotten there quite yet. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one before we move over to Thursday night football tomorrow. Glow says Collier didn't play for one. In which one of those games? Glow says wrong team favorite. How many comments did I miss? P says I took the over. Too many people on the under in the last 2 games. There was no way it was dropping by 20 points. Okay. Daddy Rig says the Sun came out with nice defense in the third quarter, but that was it. Other than the third quarter, defense did suck. It definitely did. It absolutely did. Timeout says the point I'm making is sometimes you'll have to be able to make 12 plus threes, and outscore teams, and they can't. Next step for Dejanay is her getting the 3-point ball to 34-35%. 25% is horrible. Yeah, I agree with that. Connecticut plays very old style basketball though. Very, very old style basketball. Dad says early look I got for Thursday night football. Debo over 52.5 receiving yards. Kenneth Walker over his 18.5 receiving yards. And Jason Myers, I think he's going to kick 2 field goals. We'll get there in a second. Justin says, I got both teams in the W, so I might not bet a single thing. My W season is over now. I can cash regardless and don't want to risk guaranteed nice profit, but Liberty is the bigger ticket. Yeah, I like it, Justin. I like it a lot. I'm glad you got in on both sides. Glow says Lynx won't celebrate. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, Glow. The last time the Lynx won a big game, Glow, I don't know if you remember this. Last time the Lynx won a big game, it was the in-season. It was the championship, the Commissioner's Cup game. Go back and look at what happened to the Lynx after they won the Commissioner's Cup. You probably don't remember that. After the Lynx, not to say it's going to repeat itself, but after the Lynx won a big game, they lost to the Dallas Wings in Dallas. Got smoked by Dallas. Glow says New York understand fee will have to do much better to beat them. I agree with that. Says I've been saying it all year. Minnesota is better than the Liberty. Now it's time to settle up. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be a good series. I don't think it'll be a good series in game 1. What up, She? Appreciate you for tapping in. Dirty Rig says, I wish the Lynx don't let Spike Lee. Yeah, I wish the Lynx don't let Spike Lee yapping, but get in their head. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. GLB says same NFL system we cashed last week is active again on Sunday. Take Tampa Bay, New Orleans under. Lifeline says I like the Liberty in the first game. Lynx had tough series with the Sun. Liberty will not underestimate them tonight. I think you mean tomorrow. The game is tomorrow, Lifeline. But I agree. I definitely agree. So those are my thoughts, man. At this point in time, you're going to ride with who you're going to ride with. No matter what I say, anybody else says, your thoughts are your thoughts. Don't go away from them. Always ride with whatever it is that you think is going to happen, no matter what you listen to other people say, myself included. I'm with the Liberty, though. I think the Liberty win the championship this year. And I think they win game 1 and probably cover the spread, but haven't gotten there quite yet. San Francisco and Seattle, real quick before we get up out of here. This line open. San Francisco laying 5. Divisional game on the road in Seattle. Total open 46.5 up to 48.5, and the spread has shrunk a little bit down, as you guys can see, down now and down to 3.5. So this was both of these teams are coming off pretty bad spots in my opinion. San Francisco had a double-digit lead last week against the Arizona Cardinals at home at that, and blew it. Seattle loses to the Giants, which is also pretty bad. I will say this for people who are, that do more than just, look into the box scores and look into the situational spots. See, in my opinion, Seattle was in a really tough spot. If you go back and just look at Seattle's travel, it was not the greatest spot for Seattle. And I don't know how much of that you want to, put into the handicap, but if you just look at Seattle travel spot, I just want to bring it up real quick so I can tell people. They started the season at home against the Broncos. They had to travel from Denver to New England, which is cross country. Then they had to go south to they went back to Seattle to play the Dolphins. After they played the Dolphins at home, cross country trip to Detroit, and that game was on Monday Night Football. Then they had to go back to play the Giants. So you talking about back and forth. That was not the greatest spot. Now, should you lose to the Giants by 9 points? Absolutely not. I mean, not when you're laying 7 points. But Seattle, short week for both teams. Don't have to travel at all in this spot. Should be in a little bit of a bounce back spot, you could say. San Francisco also should be in a bounce back spot, in my opinion, here. Losing that game the way that they did, and that's now back-to-back losses for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sorry, for San Francisco. San Francisco also, they kind of remind me a little bit of Baltimore earlier in the season where, Baltimore had double-digit leads. They lost at home to a very egregious Las Vegas Raiders team. And then they also had a double-digit lead the game after that. And they lose that one as well. Who did they lose that one to? I can't even remember. I'm going off the top of my head. I can't remember who else. I thought it was another team that they had a double-digit lead against, and the Cowboys. They let the Cowboys come all the way back after beating them. I think they were up 25 to 3 or 6 or something like that in that game. Ended up winning the game 28 to 25. So I think it's a big bounce back spot for San Francisco specifically. Just situationally, it kind of feels like, and I was reading some stuff about this game as well. It kind of feels to me like, and there's injuries on both sides, just a few injuries on both sides that probably are important to mention. But I kind of feel like San Francisco, just reading and listening to the players and the coaches in the locker room, most of the time they feel like these Thursday night games are burdens, right? Like a lot of players don't like playing on Thursday night football after you just had a game on Sunday. For San Francisco, they actually see it as a blessing in disguise. And it's really just to get that bad taste out of their mouth. And I think that they do that. I think they start the game off early. Teams coming off back-to-back losses, teams coming off back-to-back games where they blew, and I didn't even query this. I didn't even look into the numbers into the database. But teams coming off back-to-back games where they had a double-digit loss, a double-digit lead, and end up not winning the game are typically teams I want to bet on. And I think San Francisco starts early. I actually like them a little bit more in the first half because I think that they will have a field goal lead, and you can get them, I think, -1.5 in the first half right now versus, you got that hook right there at the 3.5 for the full game. They've also been able just to get out the big leads. Like I said, they've had double-digit leads in the first half in both games, in both of their most recent games. So my favorite look, and like I said, I haven't pulled the trigger quite yet, but 49ers early, I think is the best look in this game. Let me just see something real quick. So yeah, they lose to Arizona after not being able to score in the fourth quarter, in the second half at all. Honestly, they were outscored 3 to field goal to nothing in the third quarter, 11-0 in the fourth quarter. Lose that game to Arizona, 23-24. The week before, they smoked the Patriots, which everybody is doing, 30-13. The week before that, they lose to the Rams. So yeah, I think Seattle, I think San Francisco early would be the best play in my opinion, minus the 1.5. I think that they do have a field goal lead. I'll do a little bit more deep diving, kind of look at some ATS numbers, but I think you get a fired up, motivated, locked in San Francisco team coming off the loss the way that they came off the loss. Because, like I said, both of these teams coming off, losses where they were projected to win by a touchdown or more. So those are my thoughts on this game. I got to dive into, player props, see if there's anything that I like. But just looking at the spot, to me, it made a lot of sense. Made a lot of sense to like San Francisco in this spot early is what I'm thinking. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on San Francisco and Seattle. Let's see what you guys are thinking real quick. And then I'll recap everything that I talked about in this and we'll get up off here. Let's see. Jordan says Lynx and 4. Oh, wow. Okay. Total opposite. I wonder what the odds on that is. CG3 says San Francisco minus the 3, so maybe about a half a point here. Dirty Rig says I got the 49ers. I'm not a Geno Smith believer at all. I still got some more work to do on this game, but like I said, situationally, it just makes a lot of sense. I like San Francisco as well. GLB says I took the over and laid the 3.5 for San Francisco as well. Okay. What else? Slick Pick says 49 to cover and the under is what he likes. Jordan says 49ers 0-2 in the division. Eventually, you got to get right. Why not let it be against Seattle? Like I said, if I play it, it'll probably be early. I haven't made too many first half plays, but this one, kind of aligns well. Like I said, I'll look into the first half numbers a little bit deeper, but it's not anything that I played so far. So, yeah, the only thing that's up here that I also, kind of lean towards, remember, red plays are always plays that I haven't made yet, but I think the Liberty win game 1 pretty comfortably. Minus 5.5 is available on BetMGM if people are interested in getting involved early. And then I also think that game probably goes over. Still got some, like I said, some work to do on the total before I feel comfortable making that play. San Francisco first half, like I said, you can get them under a field goal. I do think that they have a field goal lead at halftime. I think their defense will be a little bit better. Tackling big running backs. Last week it was James Conner who they shut down in the first half, but then I think he had like 73 yards in the second half. This week you still got your hands full with Kenneth Walker, another explosive running back. But I saw Kenneth Walker go crazy against the Detroit Lions last week when I took his under rushing yards. And then against the Giants, not against the Giants, against the Lions on the road. And then, of course, they struggle. The same defense struggles. Same offense struggles against the Giants defense. So, yeah, I think that they'll do a much better job of, tackling, converting on some of those, third down, some of those red zone opportunities. Like I said, they didn't even score in the second half. So I think we get a fired up San Francisco team. That'll probably be my best bet for Thursday Night Football. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Resources that I use to handicap are here if people are interested. These referral codes are still active for people who want to check out OddsJam and Moneyballer. You can cancel them at any time. So definitely check these out if you guys are interested. That'll be the show for today, man. Hit the like button for me on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Best of luck on all your action. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your Wednesday. I'm out.